let's see, that might be a little tougher.
Well, I don't mean the date. I just remember, do you remember the day and, things that happened? Was it at the church on Orchis Street? Is that where you got married?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we heard that the Japanese bombed Pearl Harbor,
Mm-hmm.
combined with, they were kind of in with the Germans at the time. We didn't want no Japanese or Germans winning a fight, and then we'd have to live under their rule, and we would hate them. And I was taught that you should love your fellow neighbor as yourself. And that's what Mom and Dad tried to teach into us, but you'd pick up a newspaper and you'd read something disgusting in it, and that'd make you hate them all the more. So we went all through that from early childhood through junior high, through high school, and even after high school, my mother was crying one day when I would come home from school, and come to find out she was crying over the thoughts that Jack was already in the service, and I was getting ready to go in, or would be going in, and she just couldn't take that.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, Mom, we're going to fight and do it. And hopefully God will look after us. We'll do some praying. We'll do a lot of there were a lot of times when we were apart, and then when the Cockeyed War was over, we'd hope that we'd win it. So then we would be the dictators, and not like Nazi Germany, which we hated. And I found out we really hated Hitler, not the German people, but they were forced. They were forced to never say nothing against him because their deal was to take him out and shoot him if anybody was against their war mongering stuff.
Yeah.
They'd be taken out and shot.
Well, the war ended when you were 17, right?
Yeah.
So then, your mom was happy that you didn't have to join.
Oh yeah, she was tickled pink, and Jack would be coming home. And there's a song that sounds like it was written for my brother. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Down we dive, spouting our flame from under. Off with one hell of a roar.
I'm surprised you remember the lyrics to that.
Yeah.
I know the song, but I don't know the words.
Yeah. Well, the love of airplanes was through my dad because he worked on them all the time.
Yeah.
My mother was kind of like, I hate them because they bomb and kill other people. But I said, Mom, they don't do it just to be doing it. They do it to try to get even with that cotton-picking Hitler. And eventually they took him off the list. but they still had to end up with Germany, the whole country, and get everything settled down. That took a while to do. And I just wonder what the German people think of it today. I bet you don't dare mention war over there.
Well, I'm sure they're just regretful that it happened, because everybody who was involved is dead now.
Yeah,
So, same thing as Americans thinking about how we took land from Native Americans.
yeah,
We didn't do it, but the people before us did, and that's really shameful.
yeah,
So they probably feel the same way about Hitler.
yeah.
But do you remember when you moved into your house at Skyway?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, Dad had that built for us. And it took a lot of his money. He was making money hand over fist because he was working for Boeing. They gave him a big raise. They made him a supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
And he was glad to get the house built on 12th Avenue South. And that was brand new.
Mm-hmm.
They had a basement in it and everything.
Yeah.
That was like going from poor to rich,
Yeah.
house-wise.
I remember the basement, you went out the back door and then you went down the stairs.
Yeah. And you had to be careful because it went in a circle.
Mm-hmm.
And if you took a spill or something, boy, you could break your arms or legs or something.
Yeah. And you had, out back there, you had your carport
Yeah.
and your shed
Yeah.
where you worked on your airplane.
Yeah.
And you'd always let us help you. And you'd give us pieces of wood and rubber cement just so we could play with it and put
Yeah.
it together. And yeah. And then Grandma had her red chair, her
Yeah.
rocking chair,
Yeah.
and she'd watch her soap opera.
Yeah.
And we spent the night all the time.
Yeah.
We always wanted to be at your house.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad it turned out happier. We all went through the sad part of war. Nobody loves war. Even the enemy wives and sweethearts don't love war. You can't tell me they do.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was born 32 years after the war.
Yeah. Now
So-
you're an old lady. I should clean my mouth out. I didn't mean that.
Yeah, I remember being at your house and we'd watch Golden Girls and Wheel of Fortune.
Oh, yeah. Remember all those programs?
Yeah. Well, Wheel of Fortune is still on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a long time. And then the front yard, you always had a little pool for us to play in.
Yeah.
And you had your plum tree.
Yeah.
And then one time a car hit your fence and you got really mad because he wasn't getting out and admitting to it.
Yeah.
So you ran in the back bedroom and you got your machete
Yeah.
and you ran out there and chased him and he got in his car and took off.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to mess with you when you were upset.
Yeah, I like I kind of changed my way of thinking. I like
Yeah.
togetherness and happiness togetherness.
Yeah. Well, you used to have a really bad